working into space. I think just the separation of the big three forwards, or big four forwards, really is very potent.
8 today, 32 on the year for the big three, so averaging 8 a game, which are their big numbers.
They could be the difference in this last term.
Jordan Dawson lifted as Jono wanted in that third term. He had 10 disposals. Tuke Miller was brilliant. 9 disposals and a goal. So we're underway, fourth quarter. Who can get this victory and continue to roll into the season? So Gold Coast only once in the history they started 3-0. That was back in 2016. They have the chance today. Adelaide can go 4-0, which they've only done twice in their history. Flanders, Rao on the left boot. King got some separation. Well done from King. Got the fist in. Here's Rogers, the sub for Gold Coast. Can he have some influence in this fourth quarter? He's a clever little player. Good start towards goal time. For Gold Coast, can he have some influence in this fourth quarter? He's a clever little player. Good start towards goal time. For Gold Coast, can he have some influence in this fourth quarter? He's a clever little player. He was. The excitement got the better of him. He's been pumped up all game. He's about to kick his third, Jed Walter. The Suns have started fast in almost every quarter in this game. Walter's got 3. And they just get a little gap on the Crows early.
So the impact of young Rogers, just that bit of zip and fresh player onto the ground, and we know his class, and just got around and just, I mean, he's having a shock fair to say. That is a really good mark, Jed Walter, but just here, he just gets up and thinks, I might sneak this through, and
No.
That might come up in the review. I reckon Dimmer might just, if they get the win, he might just put that up as a start.
Just saw a little gap. He dodged a ball there, Jed Walter. Well done, young man. First time in his career, 3 goals. And he's got plenty more goals in him.
Sure has.
He's having some influence.
Big, powerful 19-year-old.
Is he what? He might not be done with yet in this game. 2-goal lead now for the Suns. Can Adelaide respond? They've been able to all afternoon after Gold Coast have been able to jump them early in quarters.
And Joey, we've just had confirmation Rory led it is tactical, but if nothing else, it's management, because they play on Thursday night to start the other round.
Yeah. Thank you, Dale. They're playing again against Geelong, gather rounds. Then Curvis is a half-back, so maybe it's just a tactical, as he said. Makes a bit of sense. Neil Bullen, standing start, high ball. Phil Thorpe, Hewlett at the show courage. You're right, Jono. He did well. Saved the day. And now Gold Coast are going to be outnumbered at this contest. Although Flanders had 3 to beat, did well. Got some territory. Michael Annie and Humphrey, a couple of young stars. Michael Annie, Humphrey too strong. Did awesome. And then got it back to Flanders, who just ran out of room. A really good effort. Nutty Rao showing some appreciation. Actually, we spoke to Damien Harley about the tap-tap reference last week. We found out it was a Detroit Pistons analogy. The old days, the Bulls, when they used to play Michael Jordan. Okay.
And the Chicago Bulls, how they defended Michael Jordan, some of the tactics and that reference.
I worked for them last week. They were powerful against Melbourne.
And if you stick with that theme, bit of the Detroit Pistons, the underdogs, when they're able to win
Some
titles against some famous sides. Just able to control a bit of the tempo here. They're going to be set up well behind the ball when they eventually do go inside 50. And that is going to be a big call from the umpire. Knicks can't believe it. That is a real let-off. And an opportunity here for Lockie Weller. They weren't really going anywhere, the Suns, to kick a goal from point-blank range.
The replay here. Just can't afford to get involved.
That's right.
Split second. Yeah, not a lot in it, but it's there.
So Weller had a quiet afternoon. Missed one earlier in the game. Not that time. And they're just putting a little margin on the Crows here. It's out to 18 points.
Like all good home teams. Start separated tight game, and Gold Coast have done that here. 50-metre penalty, game's coming, so therefore, Weller gets himself to 25 out and nailed it. That's a fast start here for Gold Coast. And now the Adelaide Crows have been able to respond to a game, Lynchy. So it's back on their midfield group through this centre bounce. Give their tall forwards an opportunity.
The margin has never been bigger today. This is the equal biggest margin of the game, 18 points. It's been a real seesawing battle, a number of lead changes. So, right, John, Adelaide, they have to respond, and it has to be now. They wouldn't want to concede the next one. It'll make it awfully difficult for them. Dawson just goes off the ground. Cumming, can he make amends? Dawson, back to the sub there, Curvis. Michael Addy wrapped up. Gold Coast, they sense the opportunity here to really put the foot down. Jeffrey just handballs to space. Rogers and Hinge. Hinge being good, Curtin being clean. There is Dan Curvis, the sub. He stepped into a hot environment. Curtin got it back to Hinge, who looks lateral and then it decides to go towards Tex in a one-on-one. Tex. McAndrew. And a great battle. And an interesting contest. Both have had their moments. Taylor Walker with 2. McAndrew, 13 disposals, a couple of intercept marks. O'Brien trying to tap it down to Miller. Scholl. Walker. Well done from Rioli. Did enough to just stop Walker marking that in the throw.
Yeah, good tackle, Jeffrey.
And lifted here, Gold Coast. Jeffrey was thinking about popping it over to Noble. Just wants to be a little bit safer. I feel that they don't need to be too reckless right at this moment. Eventually Noble does get it. They can build it up. Brown was on. Good awareness from Peatling on the mark. Force the turnover. Michael Addy. Now Walker's got some separation. If he wheels, he's got Phil Thorpe in the goal square. Instead it just goes himself. And that is a way to bring up 650 AFL goals. Only 30 players in the history of the game have done it. Tex joins an illustrious club. Jeremy Cameron got in there a few weeks ago, but more importantly, he gets his team back within 2 kicks.
How good, and importantly, I think he apologises to Riley Philthorpe about that, but here's the turnover. Good smother, good awareness on the mark, and off half back, where the Crows have launched so much of their scoring, and Mac Andrews just out of position there. And I reckon the Texan, he was passing it, wasn't he? Was he passing it?
He was passing.
Yeah, that's great work. Just to keep within 2 goals, and that is a great response. He's been a superstar for a long, long time, Big Texan.
17th season, and he's still going strong. He's backed up the 4 goals last week with another 3. An important one too. They had to get that goal. How can they swing that into some momentum in their favour?
Looked like the red pen was through his name about 4 years ago. And he's done well to get back in and play at a very high level.
A few Crows players might say that. Matt Crouch was another one who's not playing today, but almost the line through him. Dawson. Trying to rip it out.
And I think that the Crouch omission was soreness on the back of what you said earlier, just Thursday night game to start gather round.
The club's getting better at managing some of their more senior players, shall we say, some of the veterans. Then Curtis did really well. Got it from the inside to the outside to Draper. High ball. Here's the one-on-one battle again. Walker and Andrew. Collins got across. Big fist. Got some good territory on it. Well, that might favour Hinge. Scholl flicks it back to Draper, who's got some moves. Gold Coast do enough. Now, it's a Phil Thorpe that time. Too strong for one of the best one-on-one defenders in the comp.
That's a genuine contested mark. 2 big bulls going head-to-head. Sam feels that he got thrown out of the road, but you couldn't play a free kick for that. That was a great grab. Ball on top, started from behind, trying to push his opponent under the ball, and then just eased him out of the road. That's just a great grab from a big, powerful man.
12 goals on the season for Riley Philthorpe. He's absolutely delivering on his huge promise. He's got 4 again today. And he says, I am here. And I am looming large to win this one. He's been enormous again.
It's imposing, isn't it? The 3 bigs for the Adelaide Crows.
So this is a luxury item. If you've got a big forward that you can bomb it on top of his head like this, and he's comfortable now that he feels that he got Sam under the ball. And Sam, once you're trying to push back as a defender or as a forward, realistically, you don't have anywhere near the strength. And as Sam's trying to push back, just eased out of the road. And in the end, an uncontested grab. Great work.
After missing his first couple of shots, he's kicked 4 straight since then. His first contested mark. And now he's back in the ruck, leading the Coleman medal. 4 clearances as well, and he's been able to go into the centre bounce. Almost got another one. Instead, it's Saligo. It's now the Crows with all the momentum. Walker, Andrew, Walker trying to protect the drop of the ball. Well done from Mac Andrew. Jeffrey tries to spin. Tech's got the hand in. Trying to go on the outside of the boot. All of a sudden, the Crows now, Brad Johnson, have just wrestled back momentum and well and truly in this contest.
It's been the tale of every quarter. Gold Coast out of the blocks, then Adelaide have just worked their way through it nicely to keep themselves in touch. Now only 1 goal down.
This game is being played like 2 good teams. Just sense it watching it. Neither giving an inch. Both been able to respond at every opportunity. Both defences stood up early, and now the forward lines are really getting to work. Draper trying to get it out to Saligo, who laid a strong tackle. Sometimes the whistle goes, holding the ball. Not that time.
The ball movement from the Crows we spoke about in the first quarter, they're a bit slow. They're plus 30 from defensive half in the game, so 43 points from defensive half chains to 13 for the Suns.
It's been 2 contrasting styles. Adelaide from counter-attack, Gold Coast from all their forward half game. Miller.
Well, you don't mind when Hinge is at 25, 16 of those kicks at 94%. So he's the loose at the moment for the Adelaide Crows. And I don't mind losing this part to win it back in his area of the ground.
Ben Curvis not going anywhere. It's all down the road, the Adelaide kickers, especially after Hinge a good kick, Miller up, Worrell's a nice kick.
Miller has had 11 at 82%.
Connor Budrick looks uncomfortable in the hands of the doctor on the bench for the Suns.
Yeah, spot on, Lynch. He came from the ground complaining of ribs, so he's just been assessed.
Yep.
And he's holding the ball cool. There is Connor Buttery. He's struggling. Jared Witt's just watching him off to the side. He's struggling as well. The big fella to suck in the big ones, and it's going to be Murphy who'll be the recipient of the holding the ball call.
And if there's any wind advantage, it's slightly to left of stream for the Adelaide Crows in this last quarter, so comfortably get the journey.
Just that second when the ball bobbled out, Flanders grabbed it, took it back in. Murphy getting the opportunity without Rochelle in the side. Takes it out to the left. Couple of behinds for Murphy in his first game of the season. And it's an aggressive kick in, and it's a good one. Rioli.
So get out to the wing where they've got their +1 player. So they'll start here, and they should be able to get the overlap going, the Suns.
And it's Will Graham that's further ahead.
Didn't pull the trigger quick enough.
Now they are all manned up. So happy to go short to Rioli, who's continuing to work really hard to provide an option offensively for the Suns.
Outside 5.
I haven't seen a lot of this in the game. Both teams just under 60 uncontested marks each. It's been more transition and high octane, but Gold Coast just want to take a bit of air out of this one, I think, Jono, after Adelaide have got momentum.
Which they've been able to do quite effectively here. I know Adelaide have retreated right back to protect team 50.
See Butterick go into the room, so it looks like he's in a lot of pain. Not sure whether we'll see him again. Now eventually they drive it in deep. I think this is where they want to lock it in their half. Build the pressure on the Crows. Phil Thorpe.
And now the challenge for the Suns is you just saw Buttery go into the rooms with that rib complaint. Is it's really hot still down here. There's a lot of fatigued players as we have a look at that incident. So maybe just that last piece where he got landed off. But they're down to 3 rotations. That's a challenge for the remaining 11 minutes.
So Gold Coast have got the ball where they want it. Patient build up. And now try and hem it in their forward 50. Murphy. One of the Adelaide forwards now, a long way from home. There are 2 of them. Fogarty needs to win that contest. That's a big win. Just relieves the pressure for Adelaide.
Can't go quick, long, or he is now, but they're outnumbered.
Goes to Curtin. And again, Andrew got the fisty, but Adelaide will take that stoppage right on centre wing. Halfway through this 4th quarter.
We've only 3 rotations in the last 10 minutes. That is going to be taxing on the Suns midfielders especially.
Winston Thilthorpe. Dawson's had a big second half. Rioli to Anderson. They're almost away, but well done. Cut off from there, Curvis. Walker. 1-on-1. McAndrew. Oh, Max dropped the mark. Tex is going to pick it up. Spin. Twist. Go again. And a great smutter. The desperation from Joel Jeffrey was brilliant.
How good was that? That's great. The Suns defenders got back to help out McAndrew. The big Texan had a few looks.
Big Mac breathing a sigh of relief. The support came. But they are not out of trouble yet. Rioli getting some big numbers in this 4th quarter. And there's another let-off because they had the outnumber Adelaide at the free kick. Will go the way of Humphrey. And they've got some players working along the boundary line. One of them's Miller. And again, just understanding the situation, using a bit of experience, just taking a bit of time, allowing his defence to sit behind the ball. Well, they've got the outnumber here. Flanders knew that. Hurt Rogers, who's got some spin moves. Long, peeled out the back. He got the separation, but just dropped the chest mark. Rao, you know what he'll do. He'll go hard as always. Gets it to Graham, who's strolling for number 2. And once again, Gold Coast get the goal and get out to 11 points. So that was the free kick against Hinge. That was the critical win. And then just surging Gold Coast. Numbers getting forward of the ball. Players working for the contest. Rao was involved. He just did enough. He got it out to King. And away they went.
Well, they're maturing, Jono. They're starting to stand up. Adelaide have come back each time and challenged the Suns, but they replied. They scrapped that goal on the back of hard work, getting it forward. Massive centre bounce.
There's been momentum swings throughout this game. It's been an enthralling contest. O'Brien, the tap down to Dawson. Anderson read it, didn't pick it up, instead went off the ground. Rogers lurking, Flanders getting some important touches. Rao, Anderson, this will be a big moment. Lets it fly. He's got the journey. Just faded late.
Anderson 7 in this last quarter. Flanders with his 6. Riola's leading the way, so their experienced players are getting plenty of it. For the Adelaide Crows, Isaac Rankin's the one. Hasn't touched it in this last quarter, needs to get going.
Crowd getting into it now. They sense something. They can sense victory. Been an arm wrestle all day. Witts has taken the honours against O'Brien. Happy to keep it wide and happy to go towards his big man Ben King.
That's been another good contest. It's been the bigs. The matchup with some of the bigs today has been really positive for both teams.
Some important stoppages now. Gold Coast were able to get some good looks early in the contest from this situation. Saligo, the purchase on that clearance win. Powell has Collins for support. Good hard running from Keys, who left that stoppage to affect the handball and get another throw in right in front of interchange gates.
You guys just mentioned that Isaac Rankin not touching the ball in this last quarter. After three-quarter time, he's had that right calf strapped. It looks like it. Hopefully he's just a corky, but he's a little bit impeded around the ground.
Had the 10 clearances, which is a career high before three-quarter time, but no influence yet. Dawson's kick off the ground. Gold Coast had the extra defender. The Powell nudged Curtin under the footy illegally. As runners outside, instead he changed his mind and went inside. Heard the call, not 15. So they're just going to play around with it. Try and probe and find an option. Good composure there, Curvis. Finds come in. It's going to be a tough kick from him, even though he's a good kick. He wants to move it on. Tex on the lead. Great bit of play from Adelaide. And Walker is looking at number 4.
Mac Andrews wasn't happy with something that went on behind the play, so whether there was a block, but that was great space for Tex to get out into that, honoured by a nice pass.
We mentioned his career average is over 3 goals a game against the Suns. He's done it once again. He's kicked 4, and they will not go away, Adelaide. Like a good side, they're back within a kick.
He gets the best tweak on the shirt on Anderson. But just it was a beautiful kick. That numbers back Gold Coast. That's why they'd be disappointed. That's why Andrew would be asking the question around who's covering what part here to stop the lead coming forward from Taylor Walker. Because he's doing some work in the background. You can see Walker just push through. Just that was the tiniest of blocks. But the good part about it is the kick and the release of the kick was at exactly the right time. When Walker makes his move. It's even just before that, he identifies it beforehand.
Yeah, that was well done. Set up the space, left the space, got just the smallest of blocks from his teammate, which was enough just to put Mac Andrew on the back foot and then couldn't pull in that space. Well done.
Alex Neal-Bullen it was. That is the value. So that's why he went straight into the leadership group in his first year at the Crows.
That is a big rap, isn't it? As soon as you walk into a joint, you're straight to the leadership group.
The little things. And this sets up for a grandstand finish. It's been a wonderful contest. It deserves a brilliant finish. 7 minutes to go. Going in hard was Collins. Trying to tunnel ball it. Dawson. Bird Hinge, who lost his footing. Every contest now is critical. Well up. Goes towards Humphrey. Walter coming the other way. Trying to chest mark. Very good though, Jed Walter. Career high 3 goals. All the key forwards have had some influence. Ben Kings kicked a couple. And the big 3 for Adelaide have 11 between them again. 11 of the 13. Clearances will be crucial. Neal-Bullen. Gold Coast happy to have the spare defender at the moment. It's Collins and Mac Andrew just sitting behind the ball. Michael Annie just sitting off the back of the stoppage for Adelaide. Kick goes in all one-on-one. Walter! Massive one-on-one contest against a very good defender in Worrell. And this will be a massive moment in the young man's career.
This is the best he's looked. He's looked confident and strong under the ball. And he's provided plenty of headaches for the defence and the coach's box of the Adelaide Crows.
Coming up for disposal, number 10. He's taken 5 marks, 3 goals, 1. Right. Again, they've had 59 inside 50s today, Gold Coast. Averaging 66 on the season. They've peppered all afternoon. Adelaide have held pretty firm. Can they find the next goal? Neal-Bullen, again, couldn't get his hands free. A lot of numbers around this ball. the open forward lines for both teams. Anderson. There's some tired players now. Of course, we mentioned earlier, Adelaide next week. A short turnaround Thursday night, the kick-off gather-round against Geelong. Crows have North Melbourne. Just when they needed clearance, he was almost away, Rankin, and then lost his footing. And unfortunately, he's been pinged.
He just slipped as he tried to duck inside. He was away.
He was unlucky on that occasion, Isaac Rankin. 18 contested possessions, 10 clearances, but no real impact yet in this fourth quarter. There's still time for him. Neil Bullen continues to run hard. Gold Coast continue to apply the pressure. Rioli had a massive turn, couldn't take it cleanly. Saligo, clever kick. Walker, open forward line. Oh, he shanks it. So that means Keys has to sit under it. Ewan with courage, couldn't take the mark. Keys will want his left. He does eventually. Phil Ford taps it over himself. He's going to stroll in and kick another one. Phil Ford looking like being the match winner again. Has kicked 5, and they are back within a point.
The big fella's done well there. Was the Saligo in the start of that game?
Yes, it was,
Just really good to get the ball out into space. The big Texan, he didn't quite flush that one, encouraged by Ewan to go back, but then Ben Keys just to do enough to scrap it forward and miss. Was it a tap over? A bit of a tap over the top.
That was deliberate.
And the big fella was pretty happy. He's been celebrating with the crowd down there all afternoon. And that's a huge goal for the Crows.
That was absolutely deliberate.
You're generous, aren't you? Generous, John Over.
That's the post he's ducked.
So he should be. Kick 5.
He's had a huge game because he's played an important role in the middle of the ground as well when he goes in there.
Well, you could make a case. He's the best player in the competition right at this moment, Riley Philthorpe. Another bag of 5.
5 against a high-quality defender as well.
Well, this game deserves this finish. It was billed as the game of the round, and has certainly lived up to it. Flanders. Nankervis had some good moments as the sub. Hinge spun out of trouble, and it has to be pinpointed. It was.
Good hands.
Great balls as well. And now Peatley. Crows have still got some run in the legs. Neil Bullen's one of them. He's working extremely hard. Jeffrey doesn't give up on the chase. Great pressure, and the free kick.
That was blocked by the sun. He was blocked by the sun.
Couldn't see the high tackle.
Didn't see it.
Now the Gold Coast play from here. Lynchy. What are they trying to do? 3 minutes on the clock. Lead by a point. They need another goal.
I think they still need to score. It's a long way out. I mean, you certainly don't want to blaze away and soak up the spares short if you can. But also be on guard because the umpires would love to say not 15 play on here.
Of course, the draw is in the equation. Powell got it out to Long, who slipped out goal side. He just needs to sit. He tries to screw it to a dangerous part of the ground. That's going to bounce. Gold Coast got numbers. Miller, Saligo did it brilliantly, and then Rankin in the right place at the right time. Shaw. Noble was bearing down. Keys. This is an important kick. He plays it safe. He just goes as long as he can. Gold Coast get the numbers back. Coming. Rioli's got him. Big moments everywhere in that passage of play.
Wasn't there.
And Sligo's been involved in a couple of those big moments in these last few minutes.
Flanders. Powell just knocks it into space. Dawson. High ball. None of the big boys are there. McAndrew got the fist in. Rioli been enormous in this last quarter. His experience of boys has been crucial. And it finds Graham, who's kicked a couple of goals in this second half. 2 minutes on the clock. Suns by a point. Hinge. Humphrey, happy to see that out of bounds.
just roll the dice. Tex wants to get on for the last 2 minutes.
Noah Anderson has gone behind the ball for the Suns, so they're skipping to do it. It's pretty open at ground level at the stoppage. Beautiful tap from O'Brien to Dawson. Perfect. They come out the front door. The kick. Rankin's now going the rest of his ball. Rankin! Oh! Collins got there. Right in the last minute. No whistle. Umpire put it away. And then it's Gold Coast that get the call. That is controversial in a big moment.
He got the mark, but was he taken out after that?
Talk us through it on the
Here we go.
replay.
So, drops the mark.
Oh. Big call by the umpires. And then Hinge has given away another free kick.
I think the score was there from Collins. Did enough.
Now, a minute 15.
And they've got the spare back. So Anderson's spare, probably looking to defensive side.
Tommy's back on. Umpire's given Bailey Humphrey a lot of time to play on. And then Peeling again. Good heads up play for a second time on the mark. Will force a stoppage on the wing.
And look at this Rankin mark again that wasn't paid. Now, has he had control?
Right, split second. Split second.
Very close.
It's Rao Saligo at the feet of the rucks here. Tap goes corridor. Miller sweeps it out. Peatling, been enormous. Steps around a couple. He's going to drive it in as deep as he can. Phil Thorpe's in the contest. He threw out Collins illegally this time. It was the out of zone umpire that saw Phil Thorpe do the work early.
Oh, McAndrew.
That, in the modern interpretation, that's the right call. He did throw him around, had the arm around the torso. Just see here, comes in long, deep, throws him out of the road.
There is still time for the Crows. They're going to have to get it back inside 50. They're going to have to win this ball. Kurtz, clever handball. Saligo and Humphrey had to go hard. The kick off the ground. It could favour Fogarty. Over to Cumming. He's going to, instead of going to goal, Phil Thorpe. Good hands from McAndrew again. And then he's happy to wait for the pressure. He doesn't step out of bounds. That might be the match-winning move. Kick towards Hinge. And that might just do it.
What a contest.
An incredible game of footy this afternoon. Phil Thorpe got hands to it, McAndrew. And then he didn't take it out. The umpires are going to wait for an injured player.
Yeah. A lot of words. McAndrew and Phil Thorpe both for last minute.
Absolutely.
It gives time, if anything, for Adelaide to run a set play. It has to be perfect from the throw-in. Clock ticking down. Will Gray wins the footy. The Gold Coast Saints are going to hold on for a memorable win. And they put the competition on notice that maybe, just maybe, their time is now.
Still going on between Andrew and Phil Thorpe in the ball pocket. Not happy.
They don't want to see this, and it's been a great game, playing in great spirit.
Yep.
They do the right thing, separate them. Doesn't need to be anything more. Phil Thorpe not happy that maybe McAndrew has said something to him afterwards. But Greg Johnson, Alex the Lynch, we came into this game thinking there was two good teams in red hot form, and it lived up to the billing.
That was an awesome game of footy. The second half in particular. Both teams, the game opened up. Both teams were fighting for that open space. It was up and down the ground, the fatigue, the skill level. Everything involved in the game was highlighted today. Lindsay was outstanding.
Well, I think Del Santo has one of the leaders of the footy club who stepped up massive when they need him in the third term. Took Miller must be pumped.
Absolutely. So an incredible game of football. It was built as bachelor round and an absolute delivered. How's it feel?
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic win. I mean, they really brought it to us right in the last quarter there and had to squeeze us. And they tested our scenario. you always do that at training, and it was nice to see it unfold on our side.
Tell us about those scenarios. We always hear about winning the game scenario and then save the game. What did you have to do in those final moments to get the result?
I think for us, you just got to get your set up first. Like, you get a lot of stoppages. You end up trying to get a good setup and make sure they don't get to the front door. And I guess it just comes down to contest and defense. Make sure you protect as well as you can.
And how much of that last bit is just willing yourself onto that contest to win those contested possessions?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some boys that absolutely put their head over it. And even Humphrey in that last scramble was absolutely unbelievable. Those are the types of stuff you need to win those games when they're close. So, it was a fantastic win.
Came up against a team today that's averaging 137 points for. How much of an emphasis was put on your team defence this week compared to previous weeks?
Yeah, it was a massive one. We know that they can score. The last few weeks have showed that. We felt that if we had a really good defensive game, we should be in the game for a very long time, and that's what happened. So, we were able to nullify them a fair bit and then put the ball, score on the board for us.
Tell us about the growth of Chet. He had some big moments today. We love the way he obviously attacks the footy. What are you seeing as a key forward?
Yeah, absolutely. His natural ability is to jump on the footy, and he did that every single time. So it was nice to see him get on the end of a few. But it comes down to his ability to use his weapons, and that's run and crush the pack and then chasing the ground.
And at the other end of the ground, it was very clear that you went out and targeted some trades in the off-season. One of them was Rioli. His impact on the group and how it complements what you're already doing.
Yeah, I guess the highlight is some of his defensive work, his ability to shut down blokes with his speed and then to get his reward of him flying down the wing, taking 5 bounces and then using his speed to break the game open. So between him and Johnny Noble, they've done a fantastic job so far, so we're looking forward to the rest of the season.
You've been here for a long time and you've led this club really well. Does it feel a little bit different? I know it's only in the season and you've been in this position before, but does this feel different at all?
Yeah, absolutely. We're 3-0, so you kind of got to take that for what it is, and we've played some pretty strong footy. So I think for us going forward, keep sticking to our brand, building an identity. Hopefully everyone's starting to see that outside the 4 walls of the club. We can continue that on for the next team for the rest of the season.
It's been an enjoyable round of football. Congratulations, well done.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Super Saturday Live on Fox, brought to you by Toyota. Footy's back. Oh, what a feeling. What a game to kick off at Super Saturday Live. The Gold Coast Suns have prevailed by a point in arguably the best game of the season to date. The Suns now 3-0 and in the process have handed the Crows their first loss of the season. David King, Jack Rewalt. There's a lot to unpack here.
Oh, they're rolling though, the Suns. That's a huge win. A great game of footy. The Crows will consider themselves a little bit unlucky. We'll look at some of those moments, but they survived. They survived the test, the Suns.
Yeah, you always look at the moments in a close game like that, and I think Damien Hart would be disappointed that they gave up a lead that looked like they were going to push the Crows away, but they've actually won a close one at home, 3-0 now for the Suns.
What a game for their first home match of the season. Let's take a look at some of those moments, shall we? Because these are going to be talked about for a fair bit over the next few days, beginning with Isaac Rankin. Was this a mark? Should it have been paid a mark?
No, I stand by Isaac, Kath. You know where I sit on this before you even ask. I just would have loved to have seen him have the opportunity. Put himself in position. That's a mark and or a free kick. You can't tackle a guy while he's marking the ball. You can't drive it into the middle of his back. The umpire froze. Let's be honest, he didn't want to pay the decision.
There was a few moments in the last quarter where the umpire froze as well. Jed Walter as well, you go back to a 1-point game. He played on when he took that mark in the first minute of the last quarter.
That Rankin mark, was that a mark in your opinion?
Yes, it was. I was going to say but.
Are you sure, Jack?
No, it was a mark.
What are you saying, but?
Well, it's a
I
mark.
love that Collins didn't give up on the contest and actually made a
that's
contest.
great.
He could have given up, but it was a mark.
It's a mark or a free kick.
I'll stand with Isaac too.
I stand by Isaac. But look, in the end, it doesn't matter. You play to the whistle, and that's what Collins has done. But there were so many little moments, weren't there, in that last minute and a half?
Let's take a look at just one of them, because we do have to move on to the MCG shortly. But this one involving Riley Bilthorpe late on in that quarter.
Well, when you spruik like Mac was doing for the last 5 minutes, you've got to stand up when the ball comes in a crunch moment like that. There's not many could get a fist to this ball. But just his athleticism gets him there. And you can just see here, he's just trying to claim that he was taken high with a knee to the head. Is it there? Maybe it is. They're 50-50 calls that the umpire makes in real time. So we can't be critical of this. The fact that they got the last 4 or 5 free kicks, I think the Crows will feel a little bit hard done by.
Yeah, look, Mac didn't have a great game today, and Riley Thilthorpe was nearly probably the best player on the ground for mine, but he stood up in that last minute there. That could have been quite embarrassing because there was a fairly little stoush between the two of them there, but
He gives you your good, he gives you the bad, Mac Andrew, and the good was right at the moment they needed him.
Well, Suns fans, Crows fans, all footy fans, do join us for the Saturday night debrief because we've got a lot to unpack with this match. But we have to head to the MCG next because our Super Saturday Live action continues. Beautiful day in Melbourne, and it's the reigning premiers, the Brisbane Lions, returning to the MCG for the first time since winning the 2024 Premiership. They take.
All right, folks, there we go. What a cracking game. Have a look at that worm. The Suns came out of the gates early. The Crows fought back in the second term. The Suns in the third term. The Crows fought back. The Suns went back. The Crows came back. But in the end, it was the Gold Coast Suns by 1 point. Adelaide had their chances in the final couple of minutes of the game, but couldn't do it. The defence of the Gold Coast was stood up just way too strong. Eddie G, Paul, how you doing? Ryan, who else we had? Tina in there, and of course Noel was there as well in the live chat. I tell you what a cracking game. Absolutely fantastic. Let's just have a quick look at the player stats. The goal scorers for the game. Well, there was a lot of multiple goal scorers, a lot of goal scorers. Riley Thilthorpe ended up on top with 5. Taylor Walker with 4 for Adelaide. Darcy Fogarty with 3. Of course, James Peatling, Ben Keys, and and they are the single goal scorers for Adelaide. For the Gold Coast Suns, Jet Walter with 3. Ben Long, Ben King, Will Graham with 2. Lockie Weller on 1 with Ethan Reid, Toot Miller, and Bailey Humphrey, the leading disposal getter on the ground. Only one in the 30s, of course, Jordan Dawson was the man. 31 touches for the day. Mitch Hinge, next best, 27. Daniel Rioli and Sam Flanders, the best for the Gold Coast. Of course, Adelaide, Jordan Dawson with 31. We'll just roll down a little bit because we're going to head over very shortly to the Brisbane game and the Richmond game. Good luck, Ryan, with your Tigers playing there. We'll be covering that not too far away. That game starts very, very shortly. But as I just run down the player stats, just in case you're going to look for some of your players. There we go. You can have a little bit of a gander. McAndrew did a great job in defence there. That last spoil on Thilthorpe could have been the winning spoil of the game. But there are your stats for the players and the goal kickers. There we go. The Gold Coast Suns 13-13, 91. Kicked a little bit awkward, didn't they? Adelaide kicking a bit straighter, but just quite not enough. 14-6, 90. A 1 point victory here to the Gold Coast Suns. Their season is off to a flyer. First defeat for Adelaide. I tell you what, 2 good teams that will definitely climb the ladder this season, the Gold Coast Suns and Adelaide. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. Ciao for now, and we'll see you at the next game.